Over the past few months, as YouTube continues to give its creators reason upon reason to be upset with the company, they haven't really had too much to fear in the form of backlash, at least from the creators themselves. The only time YouTube seems to fix a problem is when the result is a mass exodus of advertisers, and even then, they know things will eventually blow over, and the creators will continue to pump out content because, as sad as it is to say, they kind of have a monopoly on the independent content creation with monetization game. Yeah. As far as Twitch has live streaming, but
yeah, and Vimeo's for
artists.
Yeah, it's fair to argue that platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat have chipped away a little bit at their stranglehold, but monetization on those platforms is only reserved for top-tier influencers that have a very specific type of content, which is mostly vlogs, beauty, and fashion, because that's what they can sell. For everyone else, YouTube's pretty much all we have, unless you want to self-host and charge people for it. Good luck. The built-in user base and the free subscription model, it's really what drives content creation and monetization here on YouTube, and there's really no one else that can or has been able to challenge YouTube on this front.
Over the years, we've seen a ton of competitors come and go with varying degrees of success. Apps like Vessel, Streamable, Vine, and probably the closest example of a site trying to compete with YouTube directly, which was VidMe. That company actually ran out of money and closed up shop well over a year ago.
They made a good go at it. But
they had a good platform, it's just that no one went there.
Yeah.
So it's just extremely hard to capture the type of engaged user that YouTube has because they were one of the first and one of the best to do online video. And as easy as it is to say that they fuck up a lot of the times, they have been evolving over the past decade or more.
Decade and a half.
Yeah, almost, yeah. Anything that pops up in the future would take just as many years to pick up speed and offer something comparable to what YouTube already has in place.
But what if there was a website that already had an astronomical amount of highly engaged, loyal users, and a website that already had some form of monetization structure in place to make it so that content creators could monetize via ad revenue without having their viewers pay anything into it? Well, that website exists. And if a recent tweet is to be believed, they might actually be working on a YouTube competitor. No, we're not talking about Twitch, who's already kind of struggled with offering a way for its users to upload pre-produced content to their platform. We are talking about the king, or the queen, Pornhub.
Pornhub, baby. Yes, the free pornography website, Pornhub, might make an attempt to swoop in and try to bring your average creator over to their platform where they would, in theory, host and monetize your videos on what you could assume is a clean version of their site. Now, this rumor was introduced by none other than Tana Mongeau. I think that's how you say it.
Mojo?
She's the girl whose failed attempt at creating her own convention gave the internet weeks of fuel in the tank for mockery, and in the case of Shane Dawson, enough for a 40-hour documentary series.
Wow. In a series of tweets, a Mojo fan first stated that they'd had a dream about how Tana was so sick of being demonetized that she started uploading to Pornhub. Tana replied to the tweets with some emojis pondering the idea, and then Pornhub replied back, confirming they're actually working on it. Which Pornhub person was it? There's like Pornhub Aria. Okay.
Yeah.
But then they replied to another tweet where a user gave them the idea to call it The Hub and to pay the creators who upload. Pornhub replied to this with, you can already start uploading if you create a profile and your views would be paid out to you. We literally have this model already. Now finally, they tweeted out a meme that said, myth, Pornhub is more popular than YouTube because people only think about sex. Fact, Pornhub is more popular than YouTube because Pornhub actually cares about its users.
They're not wrong.
I can't dispute any of that. So yeah, if they already have the model in place, the infrastructure's there, the pipes are clean. We mentioned that before, and they're here. They're confirming that they're actually working on a platform that would pave the way for a separate version of their site for videos that aren't porn. This could actually work.
Yeah.
Especially considering they already have the infrastructure in place for hosting an absolute ass load or mouthful of videos. And not to mention that this is far from the first time that this idea has been floated by people here on YouTube. I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before.
And CowChop actually hosts, I don't know how many they host now, but at one point they were uploading to Pornhub as well.
Yeah, like it's you take away the porn part of it and it's a very efficient, well-run website.
The easiest way to say this is
already hosting thousands of hours.
They have the infrastructure in place already.
Yeah, this is like, it would basically be like, you go down to the Spearmint Rhino strip club,
And next door they have a childcare center.
And you turn it into like a really good brunch spot just by, changing the sign.
Turning the lights on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no reason you can't.
Also, Pornhub has its version of YouTube Red, where you get access to all the premium sites that they partner with.
Yeah.
And they could easily turn that into a YouTube Red type thing on their own site, where it's like $10 a month and the creators get the money.
It's so crazy, it could actually work.
And the best part,
if they wanted to,
is that at the very least, if it caught some sort of success, it would be a competitor to YouTube and would force YouTube to change how they do things sometimes.
Another
like how
thing,
Twitch did with the way YouTube monetizes live views.
Another thing I just thought of, they'd be able to promote the shit out of this for free on Pornhub.
On Pornhub. You could have ads running for your channel in front of pornography.
The Venn diagram of porn viewers and YouTube viewers, probably a circle.
It just says everyone and everyone.
Yeah. So
Pornhub is already constantly developing new tech in addition to showing off their very specific analytics. They are on top of their game, so it wouldn't be hard. Just today, they launched a translation app with YouPorn called Sexy Lingo, which offers language classes with multiple lessons in each of those classes that will teach you how to flirt in a language that you don't already speak. The way they break it down is like, it's like going on Duolingo or any of those things and taking classes.
It's great.
So, by the way, really quick to clarify here, Pornhub, because I said YouPorn earlier, Pornhub owns YouPorn.
Or like the parent company is MindGeek, and they own Pornhub, YouPorn, and RedTube.
And it's part of the Pornhub network, and there's more sites on there. So you can throw that in the whole conspiracy bucket for a YouTube competitor too, because they've already launched or purchased other products and have built them into an entire pre-existing network.
This could work.
I'm here cheering for it.
Speaking of those analytics, while we're on the topic of Pornhub, they recently released some data about the success of Apex Legends and the mainstream consciousness of it in a blog post comparing the amount of searches between Apex and Fortnite. You fucking perverts. They start the blog post with...
Don't call our new fans over on Pornhub perverts.
Okay, not gonna judge.
Okay.
No judging.
Yeah.
They start this blog post with the fact that the term Fortnite was one of the top search terms of 2018 for whatever reason. And yeah, we're sure there's probably some Fortnite-inspired porn out there. And there is at least one actual Fortnite porn parody, but for it to be a top search term for a genre of porn that essentially doesn't exist is impressive. Well, their latest data shows off how successful Apex Legends has been since launch by comparing it to its searches for Fortnite.
So within the first few weeks of the game's surprise release, the numbers of searches, they quickly dwarfed the number of searches for Fortnite and hit an all-time high on February 18th with over 350,000 searches for Apex Legends, or a term including it, in a single day. They add that in the days since, Apex Legends searches have settled to around 100,000 per day, but combined they have gone from 0 to 2.27 million searches in 22 days. And that, quote, the most popular Apex Legends related searches include Apex Legends Porn, Apex Legends Hentai, and Apex Legends Wraith, which is a character. Now with stats like these, we are sure that it'll be no time before Wood Rocket releases a porn parody about Apex with a title like Gaypex Legends. Like either it's a gay porn or it's gaping.
Gape.
Yeah. But now...
Or Asex Legends.
Sure.
Yeah.
Post
your best.
Post your top comment needs to be the best porn titles for an Apex Legends porno.
Like Gay Sex Legends.
Yeah, that'd be great. Now, quickly though, to tie this into their potential competitive service to YouTube, because yeah, I'm doing it. Imagine if searches like these, even on their porn site, turned up results for their clean site with things like top 10 Apex kills or how-to videos or even Apex news videos. I mean, it might not be exactly what these people are looking for, but if you're searching for it, maybe you'll be interested in this.
Well, and that's another thing. YouTube's explosion circa like 2010 was a large part thanks to people uploading gameplay footage. If Pornhub embraces, if they really go after the gamer market,
and YouPorn has an esports team, so there you go.
This is gonna work.
So if they included videos like that in their search results, it would instantly boost the creators using their platforms, and it would start getting them more views. Honestly, we just want to see how this plays out, but that's the truth. But if they did do something like this, would you be inclined to use it? I mean, you have a portal that gives you access to everything. Got my clean subs mixed in with my dirty subs. And I'll tell you what, you know that this recent fucking pedophilia shit on YouTube would not fly on YouPorn because they already have probably top of the fucking line analytical stuff and AI.
They
going
moderate
through
the shit out of their platform.
They have to be a lot more strict on stuff like that because it would be what the government would assume would be hosted there on accident or on purpose, or they may miss it instead of something like YouTube.
Yeah.
So they're probably on top of the ball on that.
Wow.
So already missing that problem. Problem is getting advertisers there, but if they made a clean site, why not?
This is call it like VidHub or
VidHub's fine.
VidHub, yeah.
There you go.
Anyways, moving on. We're not really sure how to segue to this other story other than saying that it has to do with protecting creators from big companies. But that sort of works, so let's just go with that. Sure. Creators being protected from big companies. David versus Goliath. This time, it's not about the abuse of DMCA and copyright claims on YouTube, but actually about those same issues over on Twitter. Now, if you've watched us for any length of time, we're sure you're already aware of our stance regarding freebooting content, especially when it's large companies doing the freebooting so that they can build huge audiences with impressive view numbers while doing essentially zero work with no creative input or actual content creation. The social media influencers like Fuck Jerry and the Fat Jew, they're the most notorious, but actual media companies with enough money to actually pay people to create content or actually license content from creators, they do this shit too, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah. And it's been a well-known secret for a while now, and these companies almost always rely on a few key points. Either they can convince the person who created the video to give up their rights simply because they want their creation to get a lot of views in the hopes that,
For the exposure.
Yeah, some people will find them through it and become fans or viewers outside of the company that's boosting the videos. That is not true. Or these companies, they simply don't ask and just host the videos knowing that people that they belong to, they won't go after them or would be intimidated to press a larger company for some sort of compensation.
I found it on a blog, dude.
This was way more rampant a few years ago when there was essentially no tools in place for creators to approach either the media companies themselves or the platforms that were hosting these things. There was no place to complain. Mm-hmm. These days, thanks to the outcry of prominent people on the platforms, most companies know better than to just outright steal these viral videos without permission. This wasn't the case, though, for one creator who recently dragged one of these media companies publicly for the way that they handled her video.
Yeah, if you're on social media, you've probably heard of Barstool Sports. Even if you're not into sports, you've probably seen their videos shared on Facebook or retweeted on Twitter. They take videos that they know will go viral, they host them on their accounts so they can keep their communities engaged and entertained, and they do that also so that they can report on the absolute staggering amount of views and impressions to their executives and shareholders in order to keep them happy and keep their own departments afloat. Well, a few months back, Barstool Sports tweeted out a video under their Twitter account which featured Miel Bredoux, comedian and host of the Punch Up the Jam podcast, a very good podcast. Mm-hmm. It showed how perfectly 3 6 Mafia lyrics synced up with Carol of the Bells. Not like genius content.
Not groundbreaking, but it's a fun video.
Fun, original content.
Yeah.
But apparently, Barstool Sports, they never spoke to Miel to get permission to use the video. They just posted it without getting clearance.
So let's just let her explain what happened via her recent viral Twitter thread. This is what she said. I wasn't going to say anything because I am above drama, but actually completely 10,000% fuck Barstool Sports. If any legal people / Twitter people want to help me out here, please hit me up. Either way, I have a story for you. In December, they re-uploaded one of my videos without credit. I asked for credit, was ignored, and filed a DMCA takedown. Twitter quickly took it down, and immediately Barstool's social guy sends me an email. I don't respond. He emails again in February. I don't respond. So the emails basically begged her to remove the strike and first asked if they could give her credit on the videos if she did. And then they offered to host another one of her videos for, so let's say it together, exposure. That thing that's not worth shit monetarily. And they offered to do that if she would remove the strike.
It's especially just like demeaning and insulting because she is already like
very successful.
Very successful.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't need this kind of like fucking exposure.
Yeah. Anyways, she continues. Then a few weeks later, some new legal dude emails me and offers me a $50 gift card to the Barstool online store if I will simply lie and retract my fact-based DMCA report. As tempted as I was to cop the merch of a historically racist and sexist company, I don't respond. So this is fucking hilarious because although we're sure that there are plenty of people out there who might be interested in a Barstool Sports t-shirt or mug or something like that.
Why would she be
You could obviously tell that she wasn't interested with the offer. Not interested, leave. So why even embarrass yourself by making such an offer?
Yeah, so she continues. Then the full-on harassment begins. I didn't screenshot all the messages before deleting, but across my Instagram, my Twitter, my email, my podcast Instagram, Twitter, and email, they send me these messages, hundreds. I block them, they find me again, still, I don't respond. They up their generous offer of a $50 gift card to their online store to promoting my successful podcast. I don't respond. They keep emailing and messaging. I keep blocking their accounts, and they keep finding me. I turn off all DMs. They offer me $500. I don't respond. So far, we've gone from credit to exposure to a gift card for merch to more exposure to $500 if she just removes the strike. They must really want this strike removed.
Yeah.
Why would that be?
And by the way, the harassment was coming from fans of their accounts just filling her DMs with respond to Barstool.
Yeah.
At some point, they told people that this person had struck them.
Yeah. They also, like, Barstool has a fuck ton of accounts. Like, they have a lot of, like, local accounts for individual sports markets. Another thing someone noticed is, like, one of the accounts that apparently was a Barstool account is not one that's, like, associated with them. And so the theory was, like, they get that one that doesn't appear to be associated with Barstool to steal content and put it on their Instagram. So
they can claim it.
So Barstool can be like,
no, we got it from this thing.
We got it from them.
Yeah.
They said it was their content. Our hands are clean.
I mean, it's diabolically genius because of the fact that they're literally ruining the entire use of DMCA.
Yeah. Well, and
Yes. I wouldn't put it past them. That's all I'm saying. Now, she continues further. I honestly thought it was finally over after 2 weeks of silence until this morning. I get another email from legal guy now offering me $2,000, which I would never take. 10,000%. Fuck Barstool Sports. But even if I wanted to, extortion? Like, in what world? Then within hours, I get this from Twitter. First pick. Unless I want to get a court order, my video will go back on their channel. They win. That's it. Read their full response below and tell me how this isn't blatant perjury allowed by Twitter support's lack of support. So basically, here's what happened. Twitter temporarily sided with the large media company unless Miel wants to spend money and retain a lawyer and take Barstool Sports to court
within the next 10 days.
Yeah, so you could safely assume that a company as big as Barstool Sports, they probably have a great legal team who knows exactly how to fuck up a small creator in court, or at least string them along long enough to where they'll give up because they're spending too much money to fight it.
Well, just the fact that it requires going to court, doing anything legal, for a corporation, you have
very easy.
You have in-house counsel who are literally
just write it up.
You're not paying anything extra to do any of this, whereas an individual hiring a fucking intellectual property attorney
First I have to go
costs
find
a lot of money.
I have to go find one, find a good one, find one that'll take my case. Then I have to come up with the money, and then the whole then it actually starts. Then it starts after you've done all this.
And it'll go on for God knows how long.
Over a fucking like a 1 minute video.
Yeah, so it's clearly just like a wear them down tactic.
Oh, absolutely.
Here.
Yeah. Now we can only imagine how terrifying it would be to go forward with something like this, knowing that you, the creator, could potentially lose thousands of dollars fighting someone who stole your video, only to be left with nothing but debt to show for it. The system is flawed.
Yeah, it very much is on the side of large companies and people with money. And that's true of the entire legal system.
Yep.
But I digress. Miel then theorizes why they're being so aggressive with her, saying, "Thank you for assuming I must have one hell of a video, but the likely truth is a much bigger bummer. If they get too many DMCA copyright strikes, Twitter has to legally delete their account. I believe they get 6. How much do you want to bet mine was their 5th?"
Pretty decent bet.
Miel, I would take that bet. So at this point, they're willing to do anything to get the strike removed, even by risking a lawsuit against them in an attempt to save their Twitter account, because this has probably happened before. This is sort of their business model. They've made a long-standing habit of it. They have no fucking, they cannot plead ignorance here.
No.
Like, literally,
there's probably a paper trail.
Like, the last 5 years, the online comedy community has been very vocal about this being bad.
Happening. Yeah. Now, the whole exchange, it pretty much ends there. But she did a short interview with another sports outlet, Deadspin, where she said that she is now talking to lawyers and that this has happened to her before, saying, "I've actually had a fictitious counterclaim to my DMCA's filed before, by Dory. Twitter also didn't get involved. My content was restored to his page, and he blocked me on all accounts, so I couldn't even reflag it. Thankfully, he's since been suspended. Hoping I can at least play a small part in doing the same to Barstool."
Cool. And I hope she does.
And since she is apparently talking to lawyers, it doesn't look like this is over. And hopefully we can look forward to someone finally taking one of these dumb repost accounts to court so we can all see exactly where the cards will fall when this process is handled legally. The correct way. Which it should be the correct way, but it's just hard for a small creator to do it.
Right.
It just sucks that she's literally had to go through this much work just to get them to stop bullying people who create the content that they profit off of.
Yeah.
Boo.
Take responsibility for your fucking mistakes.
Yeah. I'm sure Twitter will let you pay them off to get one strike removed. That's the American way.
Actually, no, the DMCA is like, that's a legal thing.
Yeah, I know. It's that's probably why they're freaking out. And I don't know, maybe they're not like the fourth or fifth. Maybe this isn't the fourth or fifth strike, but it's got to be it's got to be somewhere on their list where they're starting to get more and more nervous.
Yeah.
So I feel like if it was the fifth strike, they'd be a lot more like, hey, let's settle this right now.
Right.
Yeah. How much is it going to take?
And now
because they probably make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They're doing quite well for themselves as a brand. Their fans are fucking weird, and I don't understand the love that people have for this company. Mm-hmm. Their fucking CEO is the founder CEO guy is just, to me, like, people fucking love him, but I find him to just be the most on like a deep level, on an unconscious level. I just cannot stand this man.
I have no idea about any of
he's
Barstool.
the guy that does
like the Twitter account.
The owner guy is the one that goes around. He does like pizza reviews, and he's like a total fucking asshole about it.
What, the little kid in the suit?
He basically, he does pizza reviews, and he's like, there's been multiple times where he's just been like a total dick because he doesn't ask permission to like film in these restaurants and stuff. So a lot of times they're like, you can't film in here, you gotta go, and then he'll just have a fucking tantrum about it, and then in typical internet fashion,
everyone jumps on top of it. Yeah.
All their fans will just start like review bombing the restaurant. It's like total dick. I think he commented on it today. He's like, it's just our stupid lawyers, bro. They shouldn't have done that. It really made us look like chumps. And they're like, okay, well, so are you gonna?
Well, so you had no oversight on this at all, or what's going on? Like,
it's just very
Anyways, I'm excited to see how it plays out. I feel terrible for her, but I don't know. We'll keep you updated.
You should check out her podcast, though.
Punch Up the Jam is one of my favorite podcasts. One of my favorites.
Very good. And just her general online. She got big off Vine, and her and Demi Adijuibe, her co-host on there, they both got big on Vine. And I realized in hindsight, I'm like, okay, not everyone on Vine was bad.
Yeah.
There were some good Viners.
If you pivot into something that I like, then you're fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
I just didn't like all the joke stealing that happened on Vine. It was like those Vine stars just stealing like bits from like Richard Pryor and then like doing them in real life. It was not creative or funny. Punch Up the Jam is creative and funny. Mm-hmm. We'll apologize for more of our past judgment of Vine in future episodes, I'm sure. But for now, if you want to support the show, go hit up our Patreon page. The link's below. You can become a member on YouTube by clicking the join button below the video. And if you do either of those, you'll get access to a 40-minute Q&A video that we recently put up. That was the questions were provided by the supporters. So check that out. Also, since we hit 150,000 subs recently, we put up a variant color of one of the shirts that we released last November, and this one's going to stay up forever. Mm-hmm. So no rush, but if you want to buy a shirt, head to itmerchstore.com, or the link will be down in the description as well. Watch a new episode of Weekly Weird News, and watch a new episode of News Dump, and stay tuned for Tech News Day tomorrow. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.